Good.
All right, what's up, homies? Welcome back. We got another rock star episode for you. At the Hardwood homies, there was some crazy stuff that happened last week. I'm Trenton DeRocher.
Yeah, I'm Jacob Owens.
A little out of control here on the start, but you get the deal.
Yeah.
What was the biggest story of last week? I'd say Kansas Baylor game.
I mean, it's
the game of the week.
We saw that in full. Kind of the most lopsided game, I guess you could watch. Yes,
Yeah.
You kind of summed it up good when we were talking about it.
Just you're talking about neither team ever really being close to each other.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
Baylor dominating the first half, Kansas dominating the second half. But it never really felt like the game was close, even though the score was close somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
because one team comes, the other team has to get it close when they come back. But it was never actually a competitive game.
Yeah, no, Baylor was up 45-32 at half, which was, we kind of said this in our preview, but which made it look better than it was for Kansas. And then Kansas in the second half, it's like 56-22 margin. So they end up passing Baylor and then some, and it's never really in doubt the whole second half. Baylor kind of just laid down.
Yeah, they did, which is really surprising for me. But, Kansas punched them right in the mouth right out of the half, and Baylor just kind of laid down. So,
55-26 margin. But I don't know. I mean, I think we got a good sense of, like, I guess what that says about Kansas.
Especially at home. I mean, can they do it on a neutral court in the tournament? I don't know. I've seen it done before last year to Miami, which was almost an identical game in the Elite Eight. Where we jumped out. I think we were up, just like 3 or something at half. And then pretty soon they go on like a 20-something to 2 run out of the half, and it's just over. But
yeah, I doubt to that extent. And the thing is, for their home Allen Fieldhouse, like for the way that place can be, it really wasn't anything too crazy compared to what I've seen in the past. So, I mean,
it wasn't as crazy as the Kansas State game. I mean, that was or the Texas game even was crazy loud too. But
a little shout out to I think I'm gonna butcher his name. Hopefully not. DeJuan Williams.
Harris. DeJuan Harris.
God, DeJuan Harris. So you can tell how much I like his play. But you
do like him.
Though. Yeah, I do. That's the thing. He's a point guard for Kansas. He had 14 points in their win, and which is like that's not really his game. He doesn't need to score for them to be good, but he had a pretty good game.
Oh, yeah, really good game. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. He's kind of a Rondo comparison here. I'm throwing it out there again. I like the headband, the passing ability.
The headband,
No turnovers. Not a great shooter is also a big part of it. But he hit a couple shots against Kansas, against Baylor, sorry. So, pretty good.
Yeah, no, they left him wide open, and the announcer made some remark, I think, on the first 3 hit.
Yeah, like, he usually doesn't shoot these or something like that.
Yeah. No, that was a big game. Just staying in the Big 12, I guess, Texas escaped Oklahoma, and then they had a really good win, like pretty convincing win against Iowa State earlier this week. Yeah. So they had a good week.
They needed to keep pace with Texas right now, or with Kansas right now. Yeah. Holy smokes. All over the place. It's early. It's early morning for this one.
It's okay. But that's kind of a big I don't know if I'd say storyline, but it's those teams for the Big 12. Essentially.
Kansas and Texas fighting for it. Same record right now. Kansas, I think, has the head-to-head, so Texas is going to have to play some amazing basketball, especially given their schedule coming up. So
Kansas has kind of a clown schedule. They're playing West Virginia. That's at home, I believe. Texas Tech. Is at home, and then they have to play at Texas.
At Baylor. We're all over the place. Yeah. Holy smokes.
At Baylor. No, they don't have to play at Baylor.
Yeah, they do. They play Baylor.
Kansas?
Texas,
yeah.
Oh, Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh,
the last game of the season for both teams is Kansas at Texas.
Okay.
Almost messed that up, too. But, you're right, though. Texas
plays Kansas and Baylor, 2 of the last 3.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're on the road. Unlike Kansas, they're on the road 2 of the last 3. Yeah, the big game against Kansas, they're at home for Texas. But I don't think they make it to that point with the same record anymore.
Yeah, Texas has to beat Baylor at the end of the day, pretty much.
Yeah,
or hope Kansas gets upset.
I don't see it. Happening.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, but that's the thing. I mean,
yeah,
it's a compelling storyline, but realistically, I think if Texas goes into that game with the same record, they're going to win the Big 12. I don't think they'll win that many games and then lose in the biggest game of the season at home, senior night.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, Michigan State kind of surprised me.
Yeah, no, Michigan State had a really good win. Pretty cool moment too, especially like after all the stuff that's happened with the shooting and just emotional, and they got a big win over Indiana, and I actually picked that one as I picked 7 out of 10 this week.
I picked it wrong. Yeah,
7 out of 10 this week. Jacob went 5 out of 10. So we tied the first week. I won by 2 this week, so I'm up 2 games right now.
What will my punishment be? You decide.
Still some time left.
No, yeah, I don't even think we should rush it, to be honest with you. At this point, I think we should just kind of, I don't know, let it happen. No, I was trying to figure out, because it's not just, sorry, I'm circling back, but Texas, they're scheduled. They also have to play at TCU before the Kansas game, so their schedule's terrible. But I just could not think of that other team they played.
Okay, so they're at TCU, at Baylor, and home against Kansas?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's very tough.
Terrible. Yeah. And then also, one thing I just noticed, Xavier fell again this week. They're missing, I think he's their leading rebounder, Zach Fremantle, with like a foot injury. Maybe he'll be coming back soon, but they lost 1 point loss to Villanova, who's not as bad.
One thing I wanted to actually say about Villanova is they're starting to get things clicking again. They have a really talented roster. Like, they fell off so early that I hadn't even really been paying attention to them. They have the exact same team as last year. Yeah, no, you were telling me that. Like, they're
Moore came back.
Justin Moore just got back. Dixon's still there. Names are escaping me here. The left-handed dude. I can't think of his name, but he's pretty good. Anyway, it's basically the exact same roster. It's just a new coach, and maybe they're starting to find something. I don't know.
Well, same roster as Final Four team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because they beat Houston after we lost to them last year in the tournament. But other thing, this is kind of convoluted, so I'm gonna have to be careful here. But so this is noteworthy, though. Alabama barely beats a 10-18 South Carolina team, wins in overtime by 2. Not very impressive, but I don't know. This could be totally off, but maybe part of the reason they struggled is there's kind of a lot of distractions, to put it lightly, around the team this week. In terms of, I don't know, you want me to just dive in?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to just go on.
Give the.
Yeah, I'll give a laydown. So, lay down. I don't know what that is, but
rundown.
Rundown. There you go. Brandon Miller. He had 41 in the game. Forgot to mention that. Kind of a star freshman, one of the best players in the country for sure. So anyway, he on January 15th, he's not on the team anymore, former Alabama basketball player by the name of Darius Miles. It's kind of convoluted, but he texted Miller, the star freshman who's still on the team, hey, can you, I believe it was a text, but anyway, he told him to bring him his gun. And I mean, he did, and it was his gun. It wasn't like Brandon Miller was giving him a gun he owned or something. Yeah. Bring him his gun. So Brandon Miller did that. And then that gun was eventually, what follows is he brings him the gun, and then now Darius Miles is facing capital murder charges along with another guy for killing a young woman. So with that weapon, as far as I know. So essentially, he provided a gun that was used in a murder. It wasn't his gun. And then one thing I will note is his lawyer came out with a statement. I'm talking about Brandon Miller. And he was essentially saying that he had dropped this Darius Miles guy who's facing the charges. He dropped him off at a nightclub, and it sounds like the gun was left in the car or something. under clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read this on Clutch Points, but and then he came back. He was told, can you bring me the gun? So he came back, and he was there, and his car even had some like damage from the bullets or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he claims he didn't really get out of the car or anything.
Yeah.
But the point being, I kind of buried the lead there. But so the star player provides this other guy the gun that was used to kill a woman, and he never sat or anything, and he was never charged. The DA,
the authorities immediately thought of him as a witness rather than aiding or to the murder, assisting, anything like that. Accessory. Yeah, that was what I was looking for. But so that's important to note too, is that the authorities claim that, he claims, and the authorities believe right now that he did not have any intention of bringing him the gun for killing anyone or knew anything of what was going to happen with the gun.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you're bringing a guy a gun. It's not a great thing anyway, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't his gun, which I guess also helps his case. But the chief deputy DA in Tuscaloosa pretty much said, there's nothing we could have charged him with, which, people online are going to react. One thing I think, I hope we could all agree on this. I got to move this real quick. I got to pull up a quote on my computer here. But I'm hoping most people agree on this. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. My opinion. So the Alabama coach, his name is,
NATO.
I don't know if I just hold this.
I can hold it.
Yeah, if you can hold it.
Yeah.
So a guy by the name of NATO coaches the team. And, and like we said, Miller never sat. And then he was on Tuesday, they were asking him about it. And he says, he's talking about the situation with the shooting. We knew about that. Can't control everything everybody does outside of practice. Nobody knew that was going to happen. College kids are out. Brandon hasn't been in any type of trouble, nor is he in any type of trouble in this case. Wrong spot at the wrong time. So very, I don't know.
Back here now, right?
I
don't know how to get back.
Oh, yeah. I'll get back to it. So, I don't know. I just found that kind of, I wouldn't say clown of the week because someone died here. This isn't really worth making light of it. But I don't know. I just, for everything their coach just say, oh, he's just at the wrong place at the wrong time. A little insensitive, a little ignorant, if you ask me. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of an example of all we care about is winning. And, we don't want to. If nothing else, you sit. If you find out that he is at the scene of a shooting or something, maybe you sit him for a few games, and then you're like, oh, he didn't do anything.
Do you think you could get in trouble for suspending a player who hasn't done anything wrong legally? I don't know if there's any backlash to that, is what I'm saying. From the family or anything.
I don't. Well, okay, maybe if you suspend, but I think even if you say, you know what, there's an investigation. A woman was killed. You were there. We can confirm this. We're gonna
if you're
just
gonna
have
sit
you sit
someone,
out.
it's kind of a suspension. But
I don't think you could get legal repercussions for that. They're kind of covering themselves because you don't know. It turns out he didn't do it.
By the time he found out, though, didn't the authorities already say that he wasn't even a suspect and stuff?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. That's what my interpretation of it. But anyway,
they kicked this other guy off the team real quick, and their best player on the team. Well, we're gonna let you play, and not even. It just, I don't know. If it's a random bench player, they're gonna sit him because they don't want to deal with any consequences. So I don't know. It's just kind of asinine if you ask me. I'm not gonna be cheering for them. Wouldn't be anyway, but the coach, much different view of the guy. I'll just stay.
Yeah.
But,
okay. Well, anyway.
Yeah, sorry. That was a bit of a rant. That was a big storyline.
It was a big story. Yeah.
I didn't
it deserved to be talked about, but a lot everyone will be hearing about it, and then
probably already have, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to get into was Virginia lost to Boston College this week. Huge for Miami. Miami is now in the driver's seat, first place in the ACC, And if we win our last 2 games, we'll be ACC regular season champs. Not an easy feat. Florida State, always a rivalry game. You never know what could happen there. And then home against Pitt, who's in 3rd right now, would actually be in 1st place if they had played one more ACC game. We have the same record, and they beat us head-to-head a couple weeks ago in a game that we completely blew and should have won. But that's besides the point. We have a chance to right the wrong, and so I don't know. That's good stuff for Miami this week. Also, we're projected as a 5 seed. We were last week, which is absolutely insane given we're the 13th team in the country in the poll, which by that logic you would think would mean we're the number 1 4 seed, but we're a 5 seed. And then pretty much all the 4s and 3s lost last week too. So more good news for Miami is we were able to move up to a 4 this week. And I don't know, just good stuff in the Gables.
Yeah, no. Very, very well, especially obviously you're a fan. So, and it's ACC, it's a Power 5 conference, so it's worth covering because they're now leading the conference.
I think there's 6 in basketball, right?
Yeah, East. Pretty much, yeah. No, that I don't even know.
Although the Pac-12 kind of isn't in basketball,
so you're dropped.
It's kind of like 5.
Yeah. I'm not gonna fall for a bait there. But no, it's a big deal, especially just from kind of an outsider's perspective. Miami kind of, I was gonna say, fumbled the bag against, I guess, Pitt. Yeah,
and we've lost, I think, 3 ACC road games by a combined 5 points. So I mean, if any one of those games goes differently, we dang near have it locked up right now. But
yeah, I mean, it didn't always look like had a good season. It looked like you were kind of faltering in the middle there, but then you rattled off 6 in a row? 7. And that's against the Dukes of the world, Clemson, North Carolina, on the road. I don't care if they're not great. That's not an easy game.
Of the power teams right now, we have the longest active win streak in the country.
Yeah, so and that's the thing, though. I don't want to say this, but I had kind of already alluded to this when we were just talking. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling if, you want them to just finish the deal here, you've done good on the toughest stretch. I think they either have a scare or a loss in the next 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just college basketball is so tough to rattle off that would be 9 in a row.
I tell you what, that Pitt game could be crazy, especially if Virginia loses to North Carolina this week. I don't know what happens in a 3-way tie necessarily. But there's a very good chance that Miami could be playing Pitt on the last Saturday of the season for the number 1 to win the ACC.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be a really cool game. Who are our seniors? No, Wong is a 4th-year junior or 5th-year junior. I think 5th-year junior, right? Yeah. Something like that. He'll probably leave. Miller's our only senior, Jordan Miller.
Oh, okay.
So we probably lose those 2. Yeah.
But the game, it's not as big with NBA now, but senior night is always the last home game of the season for teams. So that adds something to it.
I assume Wong will probably go to the NBA this year. So
yeah. Okay.
I think him and Miller will be gone, but we'll return Pack. We'll return O'Meara, Bensley Joseph, Harlan Beverly, Wilga Poplar. No. Pretty good returning crew. So
I'm thinking of Bensley, not Beverly. Jeez,
I said Bensley.
No, I know, but I'm confusing them as you're saying them.
Yeah.
And real quick, could you explain Clemson? I don't know. I find that they're just kind of
Clemson. Yeah, Clemson has completely fallen out of it. It's going to take a lot of work for them to get back into the tournament after losing, I believe, 3 ACC games in a row. Not even necessarily good teams were beating them. They lost to Louisville.
One of the worst teams.
Had a truly terrible year. I don't remember who else they've lost to, but that one really stuck out. They lost to Miami, obviously, I guess. And then I don't remember who the other one was. So. But yeah, Clemson started out they even as an automatic qualifier when they were in first place, because you know how in bracketology they list them if they're first place in the conference, they list them as an automatic qualifier.
Yeah.
It said automatic qualifier 8 seed for the ACC, so they were already not super highly rated before they started losing, just due to I think their non-conference schedule and stuff. They didn't play anybody very good. They did beat Penn State, but it was at home. It's not really a huge win or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, didn't do super well in the non-conference. But after losing a couple, they've completely fallen out, and it's very typical of a Clemson basketball team. I'll just say that because they do that a lot.
Conference. It's kind of sad.
Now they're in like 4th or 5th.
Like you're leading the conference, and then you just plummet, and then I don't know. I found it kind of cool when I found out they were like ahead. I was like, oh, okay, good for them.
Yeah.
But I guess Clemson basketball.
They do this a lot. They do a lot of Clemsoning, as people would call it.
Really?
Actually, before their football team started doing well, it was kind of like their whole program was just cursed. They would just always lose like drastic ways at the end.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what are we trying to Cinderellas?
Yeah, we can go on to Cinderella, sure.
Yeah, that's just a jump, but yeah, let's because this is the last February episode of Hardwood Homies. We're doing it early today, but
who's gonna go to the ball?
Yeah, and do we describe what a Yeah, I guess Cinderella. Sure.
A team that you're not expected to make a deep run that makes a deep run. That's how I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, that's exactly. And usually we're not. It's a team that's a little off the radar. You're not gonna say like
nothing below like a 5 seed, probably.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I think of it, anyway.
Yeah. So a team that makes a good run, and it's what makes the tournament fun for people to watch.
Yeah. You always have your couple teams. You've had, Oral Roberts in the past. You've had Wichita State's, even Butler.
South Carolina one year.
South Carolina, yep. Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
Dunk City back in the day. Yeah. No, a lot of teams. So.
No, yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So
obviously, we didn't even mention St. Peter's last year.
That was most recent.
15 seed to the Elite Eight.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like the more, I don't know, a fifth.
Sad their coach left right after that. That's what happens, I guess, when you're a mid-major, though.
Yeah, good for him though. He went to his alma mater.
Yeah, no, I'm not blaming him or anything. It's just unfortunate for them.
Yeah,
took some players with him and stuff too. So.
Yeah, his transfer portal helps with that.
Yeah.
So no, who's your Cinderella?
Liberty actually. Liberty is my Cinderella. They are in.
That's not even a quiz question.
That is a quiz question. I don't. ASUN. They're in the ASUN, Atlantic Sun.
Okay.
And they struggled a little bit early. They played some tough games. They played Alabama actually and kind of got smoked, but they've been playing really well lately. They have the 5th best scorer in the country, averaging 23.5 points a game, Darius McGee. He's had the last 3 games, I believe, 43, 27, and 35 points the last 3 games. He has not had less than 25 in the last 5 games. And he's really turning it on right now. And they take, I think, the 6th most threes of any team in the country, and they make 37% of them. So they are lethal at times.
And what are they in good position to win their conference tournament and everything?
Yeah, they're in first in their conference right now.
Okay,
so
good.
If they can win the conference, look out.
Yeah, well, no, also, I was going to say that's a good recipe. You have like a star player, and then you have a team that can hit threes, that likes to shoot threes. Those are like...
that's a scary team. I mean, sure, you could catch them on a cold night maybe, and they could shoot themselves out of it. But if they get hot in the tournament, that could be scary.
Those are also the games that everyone remembers.
Yeah.
When you just start lighting some high seed up.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I like that pick. That was... obscure, but mine not so much. I brought this team up before actually, but they've fallen from grace. New Mexico from the Mountain West. They started the year like 14-0, then they dropped to at the moment they're 20-8. So as you can tell, they've had a rough stretch here.
6-8.
Yeah, 7-8 in conference, I guess. And it's coached by Pitino's son.
Yeah, I think so.
For some reason, I want to say his nephew or something. No, that's not right.
I don't know.
But yeah, Rick Pitino's son coaches there. And the reason I think they have a chance, it's a big if though. Like for them to even make the tournament's a bit of a stretch.
They're on the bubble right now though, even as an at-large.
Okay.
Well, I think they're in next 4 out.
Oh, okay.
So. And
they have a big game against San Diego State actually coming up, which we'll kind of
we're gonna pick on that one. So,
but they've beaten like Oral Roberts, So it's not like, and they did win at San Diego State. So they're not like just a crappy team. I feel like they're a good team who's had a rough middle of the season. Mm-hmm. And if they can find out a way to get in the tournament, I think they could cause some trouble. I think they're a team, they just got to get in the right kind of rhythm, get some momentum before March. Yeah.
I was going to throw one more in there too. I'm going to throw NC State in there too. As an ACC guy, that makes sense. But they have one of the best backcourts in the country, Traquavion Smith and Jarkel Joyner, and they've got some good bigs. They're really efficient on offense. They play fast and they don't turn it over, which is a really good combination. Because usually when teams play fast, they are more inclined to turnovers. But good guard play helps that. And if you run into them, I think they could be a really tough out, so I can see them making a run for sure. From the 7-6 seed, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 8. I'm not sure what they'll be. But.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone, I don't know. I always think of Cinderellas as a bunch of no-name schools, but also you got to watch out for like the teams that play in a good conference. They're kind of undervalued a bit. They can make a run.
Yeah.
So, those are the Cinderellas. Yes, keep an eye on those. We'll see how they do. Actually.
Yeah.
Trying to think, do we want to go to – oh, no, you want to talk about the A-10's demise?
I do. The A-10, yeah. No, it's weird. It's usually a conference that gets at least 2 or 3 teams, and this year it's definitely a one-bid league. No one has really stood out at all, but it's a conference that has teams like – it has, Dayton, Rhode Island, Davidson, St. Louis, a bunch of teams
all 4 of those
are all, I'm not tournament regulars, but they all have been there quite a bit. And it's just weird to see a conference that has a bunch of good teams like that only get one bid. And it's kind of been that way the last 2 years, really. Because Richmond's in that conference too, who actually pulled an upset last year. And if they didn't make the tournament last year, because they were a bid stealer, if they didn't win the A-10 tournament, they would only got one team last year too. So.
That's the thing. You have a lot of like big names that I only know because of March in that tournament or that conference. So
it's a St. Bonaventure, I'm pretty sure, is in there. They got a lot of good, solid mid-major teams, but it's just weird to see them only getting one team in this year. And it could be any one of them because they don't have a single at-large, I don't believe.
Jeez. That'll be a cool tournament to follow.
Yeah.
Like when that's it. Like, you're not going to get in unless you win the tournament.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about them because it's just weird how they've kind of fallen off. Especially like Davidson and Rhode Island, who Rhode Island was pretty good not too long ago.
Well, am I thinking of the right
CJ Matthews.
Who was their coach?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Or was it Dan Hurley?
No. Ooh.
Yeah,
it was Dan. It was Dan. It was Dan Hurley.
He's the coach of UConn. Like a really big.
Yeah, so obviously their coach left, but it's still surprising to see a team go from heroes to zero.
But that's like how good they were. They had because they were a ranked team and everything with him at times.
Yeah, because those two teams are like 11th and 12th in the conference now.
Wait, who?
Rhode Island and Davidson. Davidson, who made the tournament as an at-large last season.
But who's is there a team that isn't one of these kind of known names that I know that
Fordham is doing pretty well. I think they're in definitely the top 3 in the conference.
Okay.
VCU is another team.
That's another team. VCU conference is loaded with.
I know.
That's weird.
All of the VCU's leading the conference right now. I'm surprised they're not being looked at as an at-large. They're not even being considered as a bubble right now. And I'm pretty sure they're 23-7 or no, 21-7, which is pretty good. And then only a couple losses in the conference, but I don't know. Non-conference must have been bad.
It must have been. It seems like, not that this is right, but 7 losses seems like a lot, especially if you don't play in a really good conference. You get screwed.
I can't remember if it was 21-7 or 23-5, but it was one of the two.
Yeah,
there's a big difference between those.
I've seen.
It's like of the small conferences, that's usually the best one, and they're going to get one team.
Well, on name rack, I'm like that conference seems like almost like too many. I'm like, you need some bottom feeders. Well, I guess you have them, but they're just not who I would expect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are we just on the picks?
Yeah, we can go on picks. I was also going to talk.
No,
I also have.
I don't want to skip
Houston. Just talking.
Oh,
I wanted to talk Houston a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because they're moving to the Big 12 next year, it's just going to be a big change of pace for them. I don't know if their recruiting picks up maybe once they move.
Probably.
It's probably already pretty good. I know it's been pretty good, but I just was thinking about how they're kind of like Gonzaga, playing a bunch of tough teams at the beginning of the year, getting their rank up, and then, playing a pretty lousy schedule for the most part in the conference.
Yeah,
I mean, nothing special. I mean, they might get one other tournament team. Memphis will probably make it, I would guess. But, I was just thinking about how they're kind of like Gonzaga, and then I was thinking, well, they won't be once they go to the Big 12, because that'll be a I don't know what'll happen once they make the switch over. I'm sure they'll still do good because they're a good team and great coach. So
that's been overlooked though, because a lot of the talk of like conference realignment is based on it doesn't just affect football, but that's the time of year also all this talk was going on.
Yeah.
But in terms of basketball, the Big 12 is just kind of absurd. I don't know. That's it's already the best conference.
Right. They're obviously going to lose Texas, though. So
I didn't think of that. That's okay. They lose Oklahoma. They're not a powerhouse.
Not been great this year anyway, but but they have been decent before.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, no, that's a bit more.
So that changes. I mean, it's basic. It's close to an even flip there, Houston for Texas. Maybe Houston's been better than Texas
in recent years. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm glad to hear that because I don't mind the Big 12 being the best conference, but if you add a Houston and you don't because I forgot they lost Texas.
If Texas
this is ridiculous.
That would have been absurd.
That's a little too not even top heavy, just too good and too dominant.
But also Cincinnati, BYU, and UCF going to the Big 12.
BYU, UCF. I mean, I'm thinking of that one year with Taco Fall, but and then with Cincinnati, they have
basketball tradition, yeah.
But
they've struggled, but that's a team that could get right back at it too.
Might help
tradition. So
Big 12.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I feel like if you're one of these teams that at one point in time you were a known name nationally, if you can survive the initial transition in, and then you can start building, you'll be fine. But if you just get steamrolled the first 5 years or something, you're kind of facing a uphill battle. So. I don't know. There's good stories of joining conferences like Colorado in basketball. Mm-hmm. I think immediately they were contenders. They won the Pac-12 tournament one year.
Yeah.
Good stuff can happen. So,
for sure. All right. Well, let's move on to some picks.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll start off here. TCU at Texas Tech.
Okay. I'm a big TCU guy. They let me down against Kansas last week when they lost by 5 or something. But Mike Miles, I'm going to say it again.
You're going to go on TCU.
Yeah.
All right.
Texas Tech is a hot team, and they are home, but
that's exactly why I'm picking them, because those fans are going to be going crazy. Texas Tech needs every win. TCU's got their spot secured. I think Texas Tech is going to keep on winning, especially at home.
No, they're not.
TTU versus TCU. The next game, I'll pick first. Arizona at USC.
Next week.
Next week, next Thursday. I switched it up. That's why it's early, even though it's a late game.
Oh, that's fine.
I will be going with Arizona. I think they are the better team. I don't know that I believe in USC all that much this year. I'm going to leave it at that. I think Arizona is better, so I'm picking them.
Yeah, well, I mean, Arizona. I'm going against Arizona actually, which kind of kills me. And we've had an up and down season. What we need is to finish.
You guys are losing for the good of the conference.
But I don't
get more teams in the tournament.
Last year, because USC is not an easy place to play. They're always a solid team, right on the bubble. But last year we went in there and just destroyed them. I don't think that's going to happen again. We're not as consistent. I think we lose. Maybe Boogie Ellis has a big game or something. I don't know. It's just because we're going to be looking ahead to the UCLA game for likely.
But look, you guys smoked them last year, and they lose a lottery pick from that team. I don't know.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't like on the road this year. We've been suspect.
You guys have struggled on the road a little bit, but
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Virginia versus North Carolina.
Oh, we might have the same pick here. I'm going North Carolina. I mean, it's to save their season. It's nothing against Virginia. But, I mean, if you don't win this game, it's completely over unless you make some miracle ACC run. I think it should already be over, but
I do too. But that being said, I'm also going to go UNC at home. Virginia's been struggling. I don't know.
Unless we're fans of,
they might play Duke at home. Right?
Oh, yeah, they start to play them again. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, because that would even add more to it.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, yeah, I like that pick.
All right, Texas at Baylor. I'll go first since we're just kind of switching.
Yeah.
That is a really tough one. That's two top 10 teams. I don't think Baylor's going to lose 3 in a row.
That's true.
I think I'm going to go with Baylor. They've been struggling. They're still a good team, and at home, I'll go Baylor. So,
yeah, I actually like that pick. Baylor lost when they played at Texas earlier this year. They only lost by 7. I remember we saw part of that game. And no, I think Baylor wins. They're too good to lose again. And also, I don't buy that Texas is going to rattle off these 3 terribly hard games and win the Big 12. So
Flagler will probably never play as bad as he did against Kansas State last week.
Oh, Kansas State, yeah.
He had, I believe he was like 1 of 14 from the field and had like 6 turnovers. Yeah, really bad.
Him and Keontae George were crazy in the first half of the Kansas game, and then they just went silent in the second half.
They're good players. Baylor's got probably the best guards in the country. But Indiana at Purdue.
Purdue. This seems like a game that should be like more of a debate in my head, but when I immediately see this, I'm like, both teams, kind of some disappointments late, but I don't think Indiana's good enough to go into Purdue and win.
I actually think Indiana's going to win.
Really? Okay.
I do, yeah. I think that they have kind of started to get it figured out a little bit, and I think Purdue's kind of – I think people are starting to figure out how to defend them. I think is what's going on. I think they're starting to realize that if they just throw dudes at Edey and make people shoot, and Purdue has not been shooting well. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they do shoot well at home. They definitely could, but I think they're not going to shoot well enough to beat Indiana.
I think if Indiana wouldn't have lost to Michigan State, I'd probably view them much better because they were trending up, and then they lose that head scratcher, and I'm like, I don't believe in you guys anymore.
Yeah.
So,
St. Mary's at Gonzaga. I guess you went first, so this is me.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm going to go Gonzaga at the Kennel. Gonzaga's still a really good team. They've got a lot of talented players, probably a top 10 talented team in the country. And they've been underrated because they played some close games, but at home, I think they're going to win. So,
yeah. No, I like the Gonzaga pick. They're at home, like you said. They're 24-5, number 12 in the country. A really quiet kind of number 12 team, but they are. So their last loss, weirdly enough, was on the road to St. Mary's. They lost earlier this month, and since then they're 5-0. So I don't know. I think they're turning it on when it matters, and I almost want to say this Gonzaga team.
It feels different, right? It feels like it could be one of those under-the-radar Gonzaga teams that makes a run.
I think this could be one of their best teams in recent – like in terms of how they do in the tournament, one of their best teams in recent memory. I mean, they did have a team that went to the title game, so that
undefeated.
But in terms of, like, no one has really respected them this year, myself included.
Yeah.
And I don't know, watch out. Like, this is
sneaky. Yeah, exactly.
Which is weird considering how good the program has been. But yeah.
All right. San Diego State at New Mexico.
Well, I think you know my pick here. New Mexico, they got some dogs. What does that even mean? But one thing, they have like some transfers from these big name schools like Jamal Mashburn. He's like having 20 a game. He's from Minnesota. Probably followed the coach. And then Jalen House leads the team in assists. He's from ASU, actually. So
I'm going San Diego State. I think they're the best team in the Mountain West. And
they're leading the conference.
Yeah, they're not going to lose to some frauds in New Mexico.
They already lost to them, and
they're not going
on the road.
It doesn't matter.
No, I don't buy it. If New Mexico loses,
it was a fluke. It was
not a fluke.
Moving on. Oral Roberts at South Dakota State. I'm not a crazy person. I'm going to pick Oral Roberts. Max Asmus is a dog.
They blew them out earlier this year. I mean, it was a home game for Oral Roberts, but I want to say they almost won by like 30 points. I think that was in December.
Oral Roberts is a really good team, though. Like, they haven't lost in a long, long time.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm not picking against them.
So. Yeah. All right.
Oh, this
right. That. Northwestern at Maryland.
Okay. Oh, I was skipping ahead in my when I'm looking.
Yeah, I know. I wrote them weird.
So this is the one game I really do not have much of a clue on. I don't feel strongly.
Northwestern at Maryland. You don't feel strongly about that?
Not really. I mean, I kind of want to go with the hot hand. I know Northwestern lost recently, but I kind of want to pick them. But then I'm like, they're on the road. Maryland, it's like most teams, solid. Maryland, I think Northwestern comes down to earth here.
Yeah, we're both on Maryland here, actually.
Yeah.
Maryland has really good guards. They've got really good shooters, too. And I actually think they're one of the better teams in the Big Ten. I think that they might even possibly be the third best team in the Big Ten.
Behind
after Purdue and Indiana.
Yeah, okay. They were really good early. Not that much.
Yeah. And then we're going to go to Texas A&M at Mississippi State. I'm first. Texas A&M might be the hottest team in the country right now. They've won a lot of games in a row.
6. Yeah.
Buzz Williams got him right. He was pretty good at Virginia Tech as a coach, and he's continued it on to Texas A&M. They got hot at the end of the year last year, too. Just barely missed out on March. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M, even though they're on the road.
He went on his little kind of rant about not making it last year. 6 in a row. They're 21-7, 13-2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, SEC is not a joke of a conference by any means. So, no, I'm taking them too. I think because one thing that, like, Jeff Goodman pointed out is that their non-conference was so weak, but they've just played so good in the conference that they played themselves into the tournament. I don't think Mississippi State – I didn't really know, but you were telling me they're a bubble team.
Yeah.
I think the bubble maybe it doesn't burst, but it's not going to get any bigger.
Oh, yeah. I think if they lose this, they're in trouble. Bad trouble. Yeah. They might even have to win the conference if they. Because they would fall. I think they would fall out of the next 4 out.
Oh, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. They're in the next 4 out.
Yeah, then they're kind of screwed.
Or no. Sorry. They were the last team in, weren't they? I'm thinking of somebody else. They're last team in the tournament right now.
Oh,
so
that's a bad sign.
So maybe, I don't know.
They're playing a hot team, but they're at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big game for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Think about
they're a good defensive team. I don't know. They're just consistent. They're not really great at anything. They're just solid.
It's a terrible team to watch. That general description of teams, I should say.
One more game I want to throw out there is Arkansas plays Alabama tomorrow.
Oh,
on the road. It's at Alabama. That's why I didn't put it on here. I was just thinking Alabama at home. They're the favorite.
Yeah, they should.
But Arkansas's finally starting to play good again.
What is going on with them? I'm not on the Moss bus like you.
Yeah. What do you mean? What is going on with them?
I just don't. They coming into the season, they were seen as one of the best teams in the country. I know they've had
one
injuries.
Of their 5-star forwards is out for the year.
Like is this just like last year where they just turn it on late and now they're going to make a run? I really hope not.
I don't think they're nearly as good as they were last year, but I think they're playing well right now. I could see them making Sweet 16. I don't think they're an Elite 8.
It's too far for my liking.
I think Alabama will probably win, but watch out.
Okay, you think it'll be a tight game, essentially. They could, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, they started having one of their better players actually come off the bench in more of like a scoring role, so he just kind of comes in and leads.
That's
Ricky Council, and he's been playing really well as a 6th man right now. So yeah, I don't know. They just kind of switched up some things, and they're definitely trending up.
I don't know what it is about Arkansas. I'll be honest. Like, it's not like they've ever beat my teams, but I just choose to ignore them.
Ignore them, and you don't like them. You hate them.
I know that's why I don't ignore them, because then they were like, oh, they're going to be so good this year because they did good in the tournament. I get and they had a good
recruiting class. Yeah,
I just don't.
2 of the top, I think 5 recruits in the country. I think
they've just fallen away, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy that kind of it quieted down over there, and they've suffered a bit.
The last time they played Alabama, actually Alabama went into Arkansas and beat them by I think 6. So. So Alabama definitely, I mean,
better team, obviously.
Is a better team, but yeah, I don't know. They're different than they were at that point. So,
I have to respect Arkansas even if I don't love them. So yeah, that's a good pick. Also, we'll be picking this game next week. I'm not gonna say it.
What, Arizona, UCLA?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that, right?
No, we could. It's a huge game. On the horizon.
If everyone does what they should, it should decide who wins the Pac-12 regular season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think UCLA is up a game, but then if we beat them again, we would have the tiebreaker for sure. So,
yeah, I thought they were up 2 games. That's why I'm confused.
Well, maybe
they might not be.
Fantasy
they must have lost to somebody, right? I thought you guys were the only team that's beat them this year.
No, I think they stumbled to someone, but who? Who's the question?
I don't know.
No, I think they did lose to someone.
They lost to someone.
I believe. All right, let's check for the people at home.
Let's check for the people at home.
Cliffhanger.
I'm just watching you type on here. Type.
I'm not good at searching too, so this. Okay, here we go. They're 24-4.
I'm just gonna move that.
Yeah, standings. Yeah, that was a good call. If you're just joining us, we're kind of winding down here.
Yeah, they have 2. They'd have to lose again.
What they?
You've lost 4.
Oh my! Never mind, people.
They have lost another one. You guys have just lost 4. I thought you'd only lost 3.
The dream's dead.
How are all of your losses in conference?
Yeah, you guys are dogs out of conference, and then we lose at Stanford. We get destroyed at Oregon.
Destroyed at Utah.
Yes, and then we lose at home to
Washington. But Washington State 13. I mean, they were up most of the game.
It was never close. The game was never in question.
Yeah,
it was just destroyed in a low-scoring game, I guess. Arizona.
Mickey Mouse.
I don't even know. The game means nothing except we.
How do you guys lose 4 times in the Pac-12? I don't get it.
I'm getting me started. Never mind.
Unbelievable.
This will start a whole nother debate. But anyway, I was wrong. So the UCLA game just means something to me as a fan. It doesn't mean anything for the Pac-12 unless UCLA loses at Colorado this weekend, or if they lose to ASU next Thursday. No,
it's possible.
It might be ASU.
For they go to the conference, they should lose to Arizona State.
They should,
that they can get another team in. Yeah, Arizona State beats both of you guys.
USC's our only hope in the Pac-12, assuming no one gets upset like UCLA or Arizona, it's USC or an Arizona State, Utah, Oregon wins the Pac-12 tournament, which never really happens.
Arizona State could get in without winning the tournament.
Yeah. Though. I mean, Oregon State one year went on a run, but other than that, the Pac-12 tournament is usually not too exciting. It's usually pretty much chalk.
Yeah.
So it's still exciting for me.
The ACC tournament is going to be a freaking crazy time.
It usually has some action.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech came out of nowhere and won it last year just to make the tournament. So
yeah.
And then they were one of the only ACC teams that lost in the first round. I think they were the only one, actually.
Yeah, ACC did really good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all we got.
That was I'll move this back.
Yeah.
But that was a journey.
Go back to the YouTube.
Oh yeah. That was a journey. Everyone, thanks for coming
good
along.
Time.
I went on
it was
a
long
tangent about Alabama. That was kind of, I don't know. We had to talk about it. It could have been done better.
Yeah.
But we made some more picks. I'm behind 2 games.
Yeah, if you're still with us, subscribe to the YouTube. Like it. We got more team previews probably coming up too. So
yeah, we got to pump them out. So yeah. Okay.
All right. See you guys. You can click.
Yep.